Hello everybody, my name is Nick. Welcome to Angelic Video Tutorials. Today we will talk a little bit about types of software applications. Exist some types of software applications, differences between them. Software application is that kind of application, a lot of functions put it together and automation and stuff like that to be used and to help you to be faster and much accurate and do a lot of complex calculations and stuff like that. Okay, that's a software application. Exist a lot of types of software applications. One of them, it's desktop application. Okay, it's a type of software application. It's that kind of applications who can be installed, will be installed on your computer. Have a package. I mean, when they are compiled and everything, they are put it into a package, and when you double click on the setup, follow some steps, next, and after that finish. Basically that's a software application, desktop application, okay, because it's installed on your computer. Also in this category, desktop applications, exist other subcategories of desktop applications. Exist applications for very old applications, for MS-DOS, for example, without interface or not a very good interface. MS-DOS was an operating system, just a black screen with some white text, and that's it, But you can have that part, or can have an application with some interface, like 16 bits and 256 colors, something there. It can be a game. It was a game in the past, That's a desktop application because it's used, but that application basically in general didn't have a package and to have an installer, to be installed or something. The biggest thing was there to do a batch file format, a file, with the extension BAT. Who put there some echo off, echo blah blah blah, copy path, copy, do that, create directory automatically, echo off and done. That was the first type of installation, to say like that, to do something automatic for you under the MS-DOS. MS-DOS is Microsoft Disk Operating System. Okay. After that, Windows appeared, or Linux or other operating systems. Okay, we have an interface. Desktop applications appear with packages to be installed. Have some setup file. Double click on that, and you have some steps into a procedure to install. Do that. Choose where to be installed. What do you want more? Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Set this. Some settings there. Click. Next, and done. That's another desktop application with installation. Okay. Also now, because we want to talk about programming more, software development, than to system administration, I will switch a little bit in this department of software development. So basically we have desktop applications like WinForms, Windows Forms applications, all type of applications for Windows, okay, in our case, because we will be focused on .NET and Windows applications, okay, and other type of applications using Microsoft technologies. So in this case, desktop application in WinForms is old, but not obsolete. In some companies still use that desktop application, WinForms application, software application, because it's very good for old operating systems like Windows 98, Windows XP, and so on. Windows XP, Windows till Windows 8, 8.1, in that area. Okay, but that kind of application, Windows Forms application, can have some issues with Windows 10, for example, or other beautiful newest features from Windows, from operating system. Why? Because it's not on the wave, to say like that, with newest things, And that's why on Windows, in Windows 10, you have, if you go and do right click on your file, on that file, choose properties and go into have multiple tabs there, you know. One of them is compatibility. Compatibility tab basically is that area dedicated to make the system to be compatible with your application, because application is a little bit old, you know. The system have new features, new functions, new technologies like .NET and stuff like that, and other platforms, other type of core inside of, you know. That means the operating system that application, the desktop application, can run with errors on this latest operating system. So in this case, compatibility area, compatibility tab, do the compatibility of operating systems. Basically, what do compatibility area? Do your system to be in back equivalent of Windows XP. Okay. Why? Because in that type of Windows XP, that Windows Forms application can run perfect. That's why. Okay. Good. That's why people, developers, said, oh, okay, well, it's good, it's very good, this, but they wanted more. So in this case, they wanted desktop applications, but to run on the latest operating systems and to have more and more things, features in interface, like animations in interface, you know, like multimedia implemented directly in interface, and so on, like that, to be used, to be consumed very well by the operating system. So in this case, that's why appeared WPF, Windows Presentation Foundation. Windows Presentation Foundation have an interface, some script on XAML, based on XML. The name is XAML, okay, XAML. It's based on XML, so it's XAML. Why is good for this latest operating systems? Because XML is very useful for all type of operating systems. Okay. Good. So interface basically generated very nice and very friendly also with the operating system, not very friendly as an interface with the user. Not only that, okay. So in back they can have also as a programming language C# or VB.NET or F# or whatever you want, you know, like that. This is two types of desktop applications. After that, people said, okay, it's good, but if I have 10 users, you know, for example, I'm a real estate company and I have 20 or 30 agents, real estate agents, who are located in 5 different locations in UK, for example, what I will do, how to put that, because it's desktop application, I need to do something, server there, put, communicate, also security, everything must be done there, wow, you know. So in this case appeared web applications. The smallest and easiest way to make a web application is to use an HTML, you know, HTML, and you can do very quick a website for you, a presentation web, you know, web application, and it's easy to do it. But if you want more, and also to have a programming language in backward, you know, I mean, HTML or ASP.NET in our case is the next step, you know, ASP.NET for interface. And in back you can use what you can't use in HTML. In HTML it's just HTML, you know, nothing in back. You can't generate something in back or use something in back and be generated as a HTML. In ASP.NET, because this is what I want to present to you after that, ASP.NET is basically that kind of script who will be generated by the server. When you send a request to the server will respond to you, will send a response to you, to your browser, you know. A web application is the kind of application who can't be used directly on your operating system. Let's say if you really are a good software developer or software engineer, you can access something directly in the core, but without a fancy interface. I mean, some data can be done in the system directly if you access it directly. Anyway, but for end users, need to have a friendly interface. So web application is the kind of application applied, put it, stored on dedicated computers named servers. That server is basically a computer who's dedicated to be used, to be accessed over the internet, over the network. Okay, So that's why a web application is better, because it's concentrated, it's put it into a single point of access there, and multiple point of access from multiple geographical points, you know. Basically you have it here, and from all areas of the world you can access your application. Very secure actually, you know. Also for secure for transmit or receive information, so traffic of information, also for storage, also for other things, you know. Depends by the servers, depend by what type of server you have there, how someone set the server for you, configure the server for you, and so on. It depends, okay. So basically a web application is an application who will be accessed over the internet or over a network. Can be a local network or can be over the internet, okay. ASP.NET Web Forms was first, okay, and yeah, I know ASP.NET MVC was after that, the next step. But a lot of people do a wrong thing, saying, I use ASP.NET MVC, so I like this MVC framework. No guys, it's not a framework, it's a design pattern. It's a structural design pattern, and we will talk about design patterns in other video tutorials, more details, okay? So basically it's not a framework, it's not a platform, it's not that MVC, it's a design pattern, a structural design pattern. Basically change the structure of a website, okay? Why change the structure of a website? I will show you very soon now, okay? Why? Because what they wanted, software architectures want to split front end, I mean interface, and people who create interface, designers, to back end or back end developers. Okay, now a lot of you who started already to develop software can say to me, yeah Nick, but you know, some managers, a lot of managers, for example here in UK, I mean UK and here in UK, a lot of managers want full stack developers. A full stack developer is that kind of developer who do everything. Front end, back end, all levels of that part, you know, till data, so data business layer, and also interface. But I don't know. In my opinion, it's a little bit wrong. Why? Because that managers want only to optimize some data, some budget. Sorry, they want to optimize the budget. They didn't think about technicalities, technical part. Why? Actually, they wanted other people like software architects wanted to split front end to back end, because they want people not to do mistakes. It's the same software developer in both, it can have bugs, you know, mistakes. Bugs is an omission actually, it's not a mistake, but can be an error, can be transformed into an error, okay? So that's why, okay? Another type of application, software application, is mobile application. Why we need mobile applications? Because we have mobiles. Why? Because why we need dedicated for mobiles? Why we can't use desktop applications on mobiles? Because desktop applications, differences, for example, between desktop applications and mobile applications. Desktop application can eat. You will hear a lot of developers saying eat a lot of resources. I mean, consume a lot of resources, a lot of processor, a lot of memory, and so on, storage, and so on. So also the format can't let that kind of application to be implemented into another type of operating system. Well, that kind of operating system basically is dedicated for a mobile. Why? Because at the end of everything, as an infrastructure, as a hardware, as an electronic part, the mobile have a dedicated format. Okay, directly in mobile, because you are connected to a mobile provider, you can use the phone. You know, I mean, make a call using that software. Basically, use the hardware, making a call. If you use a desktop applications, you don't have some functions directly, and you need to do a lot of things in desktop. You can use also desktop application to have phone calls. A soft phone is the name, okay? But for that, you need to have a voice over IP, VoIP server in back who is connected to a mobile and so on. Much complex, more complex, a lot of complexity here, okay? So mobile applications also have a design, a dedicated interface for mobiles. Can be also with interface, web interface or native interface generated. Depends, so to have a friendly interface for the users. And now let's talk about the last, and I like that very much, cloud applications. It's very new, to say like that. It's new. It's quite nice. Why? Because cloud applications can be everything you want. Having cloud in back. Cloud applications can be applications with just implemented, placed on some hosting part. I mean, some servers to select the points of hosting. So in cloud, or can be some applications designed for cloud with microservices. So the software architecture is totally different than others was until now. Or other applications like this. Other applications like cloud applications can be like this: web cloud application, desktop cloud application, and other cloud applications like Yacht or Internet of Things using cloud and so on. Basically, cloud applications that microservices. It's something into a software architecture. When you create an architecture of a software, it's like you do a house. When you do a house, you can't you don't start to build a house and after that to have a schema, to have everything on that blueprint and say, oh, it's not like the house is good. The house it's a little bit like this. You can't. You need to have first a blueprint of your house, and after that, constructor will know what to do. And the same here. Software architecture means this. I mean, to put everything and calculate everything to be okay for that. Okay, cloud applications is based on microservices. So basically, also this microservices is based on web services. Web cloud applications is with web interface and microservices in back. Desktop cloud applications are with a desktop interface. You will install somehow. You say, oh, I have a desktop application. It's a difference between desktop applications here, okay, here, and cloud applications here. Why? Because desktop cloud application can have a desktop interface, but the business layer is in cloud. Is microservices in cloud? Is not here. Here you have just an interface and that's it. If the internet died and you can't connect with cloud, remain with the interface. And you can have native cloud applications generated on microservices. The entire application is generated on microservices. I like this. Believe me, talking about cloud, we will talk in another video tutorial. I will present you basics about cloud in another video tutorial. It's beautiful. I can talk hours and hours and hours about cloud, and probably I will scratch a little bit about all that immensity of functions and features used by cloud. In general, for you need to understand using a cloud desktop application or a web cloud application, or what kind of cloud application you want to use. Basically, then you use a software as a service. You will not use the software, you use a service provided by the cloud to you. They have everything in back, and you have just use that. Someone asked me in the past, is something like a rental? It's between rental and using just as a service. When someone come to you to repair your computer, you don't want his hand to remain there, as a piece of that engineer. No, it's just a service. He repaired your computer and leave with entire body. Don't let nothing on you there. So in this case, it's the same. You use it, but you don't have it. It's not yours. It's there in cloud. Something like that. Okay. Now let's start a little bit to do all this part, to show you all this part. I will show you what's going on and what we will use. First, I will tell you we will use Visual Studio. Visual Studio, it's an IDE. Wow, what he said, an IDE? What's an IDE? IDE is integrated development environment. integrated development environment, IDE, means that kind of desktop application who run on your computer. But this kind of desktop application will let you to create other applications. So basically, a desktop applications with all functions needed to create other applications is an IDE, an integrated development environment. Okay? Good. Now, let's see this. This is the environment. Good. Let's do first, I will not start to do a console application for consoles. I can do an application for consoles if you want. It's the first one. Let's do it. Let's check it. First, we need a solution, and inside of solution we will have multiple projects. Be aware, inside of solution, a solution can have multiple projects. Not a project can have multiple solutions. A solution is that pack, that area can have multiple projects, multiple type of software applications, for example. Okay. Good. Let's do a console application using .NET. Basically, what we do here, you see this, all this part, okay, graphical part. Basically, IDE, integrated development environment, let us to create a project very quick, and with everything is necessary inside of the project. We can create a project from scratch, from zero, from nothing, nada, okay, empty. But it takes a lot of time to put all these components in the project. What will be put it already by the scaffold, because this is the name, scaffold. What this do for us? Scaffolding. Put everything for us, and we just go and use it, and from there we continue to elaborate our project. But don't forget, we have a solution. Console, let's say our solution. This is our solution, and here is console application test training. Okay, good. We use .NET Framework. Let's use the projects because it's better for me. It's another hard drive. That's why. Okay, so create. And now we will wait till IDE, basically Visual Studio, will create all is necessary for specified project chosen by us. In this case, it's console application. Don't forget every time when you create a project or when you do something to your project, after that to build your project to see everything is okay. Here you can see everything is if it's okay or not. Building one project, 0 failed, 0 up to date, 0 skipped. What's this in building part? Build one project because we have just one project. Can you see here? One project in one solution. This is solution, this is the project. Here can be multiple projects, second, third, fourth, and so on. Okay, so basically what we have here, we have one build it project. To build project, create the DLLs, dynamic libraries, or even all else what is necessary for you. If it's something else, it will be created there. Okay, will be build it. 0 failed, so no project failed, no errors, no nothing. 0 up to date, in case of you have a project and it's updated. Put something and it's updated. Here it's build it because it's building. Here it's updated, having something and just put something, change something in what was already. Okay, and skipped. No project was skipped. You can put there in settings if you want to skip in case of something. In case 1 skipped that project. In case 2 skipped other project. Or what's necessary. Okay. Good. Basically, we have one project, but we don't have nothing. Okay. To do something, we need to put some console write line. Okay. Hello everybody. Hello everybody. This is C# and we can use it. But again, when we press F5, I mean to debug, to start to debug, it just appeared and disappeared. You can't see nothing. To see something in console, you see, have that interface, black background and white text. It's equivalent of what was in MS-DOS. This was in MS-DOS. Okay. Need to put console, and here we need to read the line with something. Okay, so in this case, when we start, you can see it's not stopped because it's here. It's here waiting now to read the line. I mean, to do something, to press a key on the keyboard. I didn't put what kind of key or why to read the line. It's empty. So basically I just need to press a key and the application will be closed. So hello everybody, it's what we put it, and this is typically the interface of MS-DOS. Okay, you can see the kind of typically interface of MS-DOS in command prompt. You have a command prompt, and look, CLC, a command for MS-DOS. CLS, sorry, it's clear screen. Okay, in Linux it's clear. This is the word clear. Okay, we can have CD, 2 points. That means up one level. You see it's up one level. CD, MIC, go again in structure of MIC, and so on. Okay, exit means to exit from that. That was in MS-DOS so hard to create something and to use something in MS-DOS, you know, was bad. So this was the first type of application. Okay, other type of application, it's a desktop application. I told you it's that kind of desktop application who runs directly. Okay, now we will start another desktop application for Windows. It's WinForms. Okay, so Windows Forms application. Windows Form application, you can see here multiple types, forms of what is class libraries, and we will discuss when we'll go to every type of application, you know, when we'll start to discuss about applications, details about applications. Now what I want just to show you differences between applications. So let's start to say something like, let's start to say this. Okay, Windows Forms application in projects, WinForms application test training, to say like that, to know what's going on. And now basically we can use on .NET Core, or we can have Windows Forms applications in .NET Framework. Okay, here this is two types of platforms. .NET Framework, it's .NET Framework and .NET Core. In our case, we need to use .NET Framework now. We will discuss in another video tutorial about differences between .NET Framework, .NET Core, and so on. Okay, why .NET Core is better for cloud, why also .NET Framework is used in cloud, and so on, when they split it, why they split it, and so on. Okay, but for the moment we will use .NET Framework, and here we can use Windows Form application test. Let's say test, it's quite okay. Create a new solution, now add to the solution, to this solution. Okay, and we can use .NET Framework 4.7.2. If we need to create a new solution, here will be another solution. If we add to the same solution, will be another project in the same solution. Okay, so create, good, and it's created. It's very fast actually. Build again, don't forget to build, and yes, if you have very complex architecture here, to pray to God to have not to have errors, you know. So if you check here and it's good, 0 errors, 0 warnings, you are good. Okay, 1 succeed, 0 failed, 1 up to date, because it's up to date in solution. It's up to date because I put in the programming console this text, so it's updated, it's have something more, it's added. Okay, and this Windows application. Okay, In this case, let's run this application now. What is the difference between the console application and this application? These have a Windows interface. Look, it's a form. Look, it's a window. Can be maximized, can be minimized, and so on. Okay, it's a window. Okay, we don't have nothing here. But to work in that's why you have a toolbox, and the toolbox have controls, and these controls is very easy to use. Take a button, put a button here, take a text box. Let's take a text box. Okay, put the text box, put the button here. Let's do a little bit. You can arrange everything. Can you see? You can arrange very nice. I mean, in graphical mode, it's very easy for a software developer to use this. It's not necessary to write code for this. You will see it's partial class. In that partial class, you have generated automatically. So it's metadata. Okay, generated automatically all this code for all this interface. You just use drag and drop, put, and in back. The IDE, the Visual Studio do for you all that part, generate the code for this interface, exactly what is necessary. In other case, for example, to put this, need to create text box objects to have from point this to point this, weight like that, and everything. All that needed to be placed. Write it. You know, you need to write code for that. Just drag and drop and put it. It's very easy. It's easiest. Okay, good. Let's build again. Good, it's built it, and let's start to debug to see what's happened. We have an interface. Hey, we have an interface. We can put something here, click the button, but nothing. That's front end. A front end developer do also this. Interface, but nothing in back. It's not working. Back end developer basically do the code to automation for automation, or to do something for you, business layer. So in this case, button, and this is the code in C# for back end. You know, for what you need to do here. Message box show. Let's say message box show, and put some text quick here without nothing, not format, not nothing like that. Put hello to you. I think I said correct. Hello to you. Or how are you, or whatever. Okay, good. Let's build and let's start to debug. You can start to debug directly, but automatically will be builded, and after that the debug will be started. I mean, the application will be started. When you press this, appears the hello to you. Even if you put something here, it will be the same text, because I didn't create nothing in back, some sophisticated to react to your actions. Let's create something to react to your actions. Let's say something like, put here space and put a plus, I mean concatenate, and put text box 1, I think text box 1 was, yeah, dot text. Basically what we'll do, property, this property named text, I mean the text, the format of property is text, from the object text box from this controller. Okay, text box will go and be added here after this text. F5 equivalent of start, clicking start there, and let's have a button, hello to you. Good. But if I say hello to you, Nick, it's automatically what was here, the text, it's added to the message. Okay, hello Nick, or hello to you too. I don't know, some text. Okay, good, it's working. This is a desktop application, WinForms application. You see the interface, it's designed for Windows, and it's generated and consumed by operating system. Okay, good. Let's have another type of software application, WPF. WPF means Windows Presentation Foundation. We have here on .NET Core or on .NET Framework. Here somewhere, if we check somewhere, you'll have on .NET Framework. WPF application test. Let's see, not create another solution application, add to the same solution. .NET Framework 4.7.2. You can use other type of .NET Framework, other version of .NET Framework. The difference between versions is actually the features of the every new version of .NET Framework. Adding, you know, when it's new version, basically you have other functions added to make you to develop software easiest or faster thing, or that's why. Okay, good. So we have this one here. We create, and let's see the differences. Also, differences of structures. Can you see the differences of structures? These have a form, and that's it. These have a XAML as an interface. Can you see main window, XAML, and so on? And look also at the design mode. It's different. Okay. The design mode is different, and you will see also the debug will be a little bit different in approach and when you will see the graphical interface. Okay, let's put the same button. It's here. Can you see it's different? What is nice, you can put the button like this. Okay, okay, I'm fooling around here a little bit, sorry. Let's put a text box, and let's put also the text box like this. Did you see the differences? You can't do this in the other interface, for example. You can't. Okay, good. If you don't believe me, when we start build everything, and after that we'll start the debug, you saw. Okay, now debug is started. You will see the differences. You have some controls here for you to use it when you debug the interface. And by the way, you can put something here, blah blah blah, and the same, nothing in interface. If you have something in back in interface, here in this, in this, you need to put something in back, in that, and so on. Okay, I'm not repeat and repeat and repeat again, because we lose time. Okay, good. So this is the difference between two types of desktop applications. Now we will go to other type of software application. Means here web applications, and I said first of all was ASP.NET Web Forms. Web Forms. Oops, Web Forms. Here, Windows Forms and blah blah blah, and Web Forms here, ASP.NET Web Forms on .NET Framework. It's real here. It's good, Visual Basic, or you can use as C#. Be aware when you choose what you want, because will be applied for dedicated programming language. Okay. So if you know C# or you don't know Visual Basic, don't use Visual Basic. You can use that's very interesting and very beautiful here in .NET. You can use part of your production of software in C#, part of them in Visual Basic, and works perfect. Let's see. ASP.NET Web Forms application, C#, and so on, is dedicated for Windows. Web Forms can be used on Linux. Okay, it can be now because it's mono system on Linux. Okay, what was before Xamarin was mono develop and mono system as a system who let Linux operating system to understand ASP.NET, you know, to maintain and to support ASP.NET. Now we have web application, web forms, okay, test, in the same solution, and then the framework the same. Let's create it, and here we can use what we want. You see, scaffolding. This is scaffolding. Empty, web forms, MVC, web API, single page application. Empty, it's empty. From scratch, from zero. Okay? Web forms is this type of structure for web forms. MVC is design pattern MVC, will be the different structure. Okay? Web API is dedicated only for web services, you know. Also, you can add a web services even if it's web forms or MVC. You can add a web service after, if you want, if you have. Okay. Single page application is general website, web application for presentation, a website, who is just a page. Everything is in a page. In other case, if you have first page, home page, contact, about me, about you, some pictures in blah blah blah. It's a web page inside of your website. In this single page, you have just like category in the same page, and you just go and go in all categories. Even if you have a menu up there and click, goes directly run in the same page where is the area for specific thing, what you want, specific field like contact details or whatever, you know. Okay, so in our case, web forms, and now HTTPS, because I will use only here locally. I will not put Docker support or other things. Docker and things. Docker, it's a monitor for containers. It's a container monitor. It's using cloud in general. Okay, and Docker use Windows or Linux. Better Linux than Windows. Okay, good. So also create a project for unit tests. You will see another video tutorial which dedicated for unit tests. Can use Xtest or NUnit or XUnit or whatever. You know, it's dedicated for Microsoft built-in. I mean, have it already, or you can add third party like NUnit, who's open source, and is very used by developers to create unit tests. Unit test is the smallest part of test from all that integration testing part. You know, someone must test the software before to send it and sell it on the market. Okay. We create all this, and we will wait our IDE, integrated development environment. I mean Visual Studio. You can have other IDEs if you want to use, also other programming languages. For other programming languages, for Java, for example, you can use Beans, or you can use other kind of IDEs, open source IDEs, or under the copyright you need to pay for. Depends what you want. Okay, so we have here. Okay, web application. Can you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 projects in the same solution? Okay, so web application, let's build everything first because we have 4 projects already. 1 succeed, 0 failed, 3 updated because we had 3 before the 4th one. Okay, and now if you see here, when we will start to debug what we have already, because we have already let me to close this a little bit. If you check here, you have a home, I mean default. In HTML it's index.html, okay? In Microsoft Technology it's default.ASP.SPX. SPX is .NET, ASP.NET. ASP was before .NET, okay? And we have here, we can split, have part interface in design mode, part in code. So basically we can see generated the interface based on what is in coding script here. Look, this is the first page, and we can start using IIS Express. IIS is a web server. Web server means you need to have a server, some software integrated on your operating system, placed on the server as a machine, who to have the functions to support what you want to do. I mean, when I will access my website using a browser, I need to have that support, because in other case I can't access it. I will access it and I will download it as a file, and that is FTP, file transfer protocol. Okay, if you want to really to see something, you need to use HTTP or the HTTPS. HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. HTTPS is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Okay. So we want to access that. It's beautiful. We will access that but that must be supported by a web server, a dedicated server as a software, who have functions to respond to my requests. Okay, good. Let's do it now. You will see I have a web server. I will show you also the web server. This is the web server. Can you see? And have one website. Can have 10 websites, 300 websites, and he can it will be okay for the web server for IIS to manage all 300. Okay, in the same time. That's why it's a server. And this is our web page, and you can do home, you can do about, you can do contact, or an application name. Basically, IDE created already a web page for us as a scaffolding. I mean, put all structure for a page. If you want more, you can add more in your application. Basically, start to develop what you have. Okay? Start to add what you want, more functionalities and stuff like that. So basically, you start to implement the software. Okay, good. This is ASP.NET Web Forms. Now we will discuss about ASP.NET MVC. To see the differences, look here. It's a difference, big difference between this structure. You see the structure of web forms. And for example, in web forms, let me just a little bit. This is connected for the service in case of cloud. Properties of the project, references, because we need to have a lot of references for everything. System.web in general is for web. You know, when you have a web application, and from there it's everything you want. Application data, application start, what start, with what start, content, its interface part, interface part, scripts interface part, and here we have interface part, but in back we have backend, means C#, and so on. Okay, so we have all these parts as a structure for web application. Let's do now again. Let's do an MVC. Okay, have the application. Let's say web application MVC test. The same solution, and you know we have already web forms. So we go to MVC. MVC, it's not HTTPS. I mean, to be secure, because I need to put a certification on my server or that IS, and I don't want to put now. It's just for test. Okay. MVC. So let's create to see the difference in structure. That's why it's design pattern and structural design pattern. Because split. You see here in web application, where is here in web application we have interface, in back we have backend. Good. Look here in MVC we have interface, views, but only views. You can't see in back nothing. Okay, only views. So as an interface, and controllers and models is in back. So it's split in structure. Can you see? CS is just CS. I mean C#, class of C#. And in front it's dedicated for views. It's this, for example, CSS/HTML. Okay, that's why it's a design pattern, structure one. Split the structure, make the structure to split front and from backend. You know why? Because someone can work here, and in the same time someone can work here in the back. In the back end. I mean, this is in business layer, this is in front and in interface. Okay, good. So let's build again, and it's built. Good. And now ES again as server. You will see something very nice. I will do something very nice for you. I will start this in IIS server. Look, I have IIS server here. Okay, I will start basically to render and to access everything in this from IIS server. Okay, good. We have one application. Perfect. Let's take this away. No, let's make it very, 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 very small. Just a little bit here, a little bit pocket here. And let's go to web application as web forms and start to debug. I mean, start to activate and to run also this application. Okay, nice. We have this application and we have this application and this application. Can you see? Ooh, we have two applications in two different things. Okay, and in server in IIS must be two applications in the same time. Beautiful! MVC and web forms running in the same time on the same IIS Express running application. IIS Express is the web server. Now you understand, a web server have everything to maintain and to support and to have activities and functions for a web application. This is it. Okay. If I stop all now, will be bad because I will stop everything. Done. It's stopped. Okay. So this is in part of web applications. Perfect. You saw already what's going on with applications. Let's do now a mobile application. Also, it's not necessary to all the time to know how to search. You know, you can have C# as a programming language. Go here, Linux for example, or mobile, or go here, all platforms and mobile. Okay, and you have Xamarin Forms, mobile application, C#, Android, iOS, Windows, and mobile is dedicated for mobile application. Mobile in the same solution, and let's create. And automatically appear another interface asking us what kind of design you want for your mobile, and you can see it's dedicated for your mobile interface. Can you see? Look, for your mobile. Okay, in this case I want only for Android and iOS because Unified Windows Platform, Windows is not used anymore so much, you know. So it was that kind of Windows mobiles, you know, Windows 8.1 or Windows 10 mobile, Windows 8.1 mobile and Windows 10. That's why it's Unified Windows Platform and Windows 10. Okay, so let's create, and basically now we will have a project who will run two projects, actually three projects actually, for Android, for iOS, Apple, okay, and Macintosh, and for interfacing what is necessary, basically the application. Okay, look, we have application mobile, we have application mobile Android, and application mobile iOS. Basically iOS. Okay, basically in application mobile we have our application. Here we will design our application. Let's build a little bit to be sure. Okay, application mobile is for our application. It's builded. This will take longer, much longer than in general for other type of applications, because it's mobile, and to debug a mobile application, this is Xamarin actually, you know, to debug a mobile application, you will see we need an emulator. It's like a virtual machine. You can see details about virtual machines in other video tutorial. It's a software who emulates the same specific details and the same specific functions and resources of a mobile. Okay, so basically on that software we can test exactly like we test on a real mobile, or you can add a mobile, connect there, don't let just a simple software emulator to run, go directly on mobile, and you can test directly on a physical device. Choose. Okay. But because it's a lot of types of mobiles, a lot of versions of mobile, it's not necessary you to have an entire bucket here of mobiles, you know, and to choose from mobile to connect, to put. No, that's why it's a software emulator who emulate exactly the specific functions and resources for a mobile. Okay, good. It's generated. it's build it 3.5 up to date and so on. So application mobile is our application. Basically it's nothing. No, it's just a simple empty application. Okay, application for Android, basically this application is generated with the interface and everything that functionalities is necessary for an Android operating system on mobile with Android. Okay, the same application is emulated and can be generated for iOS, for Apple. The same application can run also on Android, also on Apple. Very nice, without no problems. Okay, that's better than in other cases and in other programming languages, because the other programming languages have dedicated only for specific things, Android or iOS, or that's good. If you want my opinion, that's perfect to use Xamarin. Xamarin, I told you, it was in the past the dev op, and now it's Xamarin. The new name is Xamarin. Okay, so let's try to run something. Oops, not this mobile. I want something dedicated, so I want to run on Android. It's Galaxy Nexus Pi 9 Android application. And now, can you see? This is the interface. It's exactly like a mobile. Will be generated. Everything takes a lot of time, because need to emulate everything. Also because I record all this, so takes resources. Also because it's generated everything in bag for 2 operating systems on mobile, and mobile takes a lot of resources. So a lot of resources is used here to do something on your mobile. So after everything is done, everything is compiled, and everything is placed, starting debugging the application, and will start on mobile, on your mobile device here in time. Okay, if we will have enough time in this video tutorial, we will see the end of this debugging. Basically, we will see the result on the mobile software emulator. I mean, that kind of emulator you see here, this mobile interface. It's a software emulator of mobile specific functions. Okay, you can use it also on other type of software, so it's quite nice to use and to create also mobile software. And in this kind of mobile software, you can have generated native interface or web interface. Okay, about cloud applications, I will tell you, because it's a lot of time spent already. Cloud applications is the kind of applications, in our case, do Azure Functions, or you can have 2 types of things in container part, Docker, or in Azure Factory. Depends what you want to use. It's types of things, but for cloud applications, actually for cloud development, software development, you need to learn cloud from scratch, from zero. You need to know what is cloud infrastructure. You need to know what's going on with a microservice. Okay, before that you need to know what's going on with the web service, type of web services, why it's simple object architecture first, and based on that it's SOAP, SOAP, and after that with extension SMX for that, and after that why it's API, what to do an API, what is the difference between put, post, and get, and so on. And after that you need to understand what's a microservice, types of microservices, and how to use it. That's why I said it's Azure Factory and Azure Service Factory, and Azure Functions, or you can use a Docker and just web services pushed on something like you have the system in back with everything, a matrix of systems you can have in back with everything is necessary there. Okay, so yeah, I wait a lot to, probably I will stop this because it takes a lot of time. At the end you will see generated. I have a lot of applications here with everything, you know, that's why. Anyway, so all this make a developer to be a good developer. By the way, not all developers must know that. Senior developers must know all these types of to develop software in all these types of software applications. Also desktop applications, also web applications, also mobile applications, cloud applications. Exist also dedicated developers like web developer. Web developer means only a developer who do and who knows web applications, to develop web applications. That kind of developer don't know to develop desktop applications or cloud applications or mobile applications. Or other developers, mobile developers for mobiles or software developers for mobile, doing mobile applications, and they don't know nothing or almost nothing about desktop applications, web applications, or cloud applications, and so on. You know, so exist dedicated developers, but in general, when a developer is senior, more than 10 years old, more than 10 years experience in software development, they must know. In general, all types of this. Probably not cloud. A lot of them don't know cloud because it's pretty new. But also cloud, it's included for a senior. Okay. Also, unit tests need to be known about. Also to manage a database. That kind of database like SQL, simply query language. It's a database. Type of databases, we will discuss about databases, what's a database, type of databases, because a database is also an access file. It's a database, can be a database. What's the difference between an Office Access type, of database and SQL, for example, and so on, a lot of things who must be new, a developer must know all that to be a senior developer, okay? Exist developers for people who's new in IT. Now I will explain a little bit. Exist developers in categories of software applications, but exist also different levels of developers. Entry level, who start to learn and start to understand and start to work in software development. Middle level, who's good enough to do something by himself, but need to be under supervision of a senior developer because don't know all things. Senior developer who knows all things and can supervise, can have under his supervision or her supervision, depends, other developers and so on, This is all what I have for you today. I hope was beautiful to see all this. I hope you understand, now you understand all these criteria and everything is necessary to understand about software development and what means software development in these categories of software applications. I'm Nick. Till next time. See you. Bye bye.